Is expected to announce its next big thing, and rumors are that it will be a redesign of the popular MacBook. According to reports, one of the many upgrades will include a touchscreen bar right above the keyboard and a Touch ID fingerprint sensor. The new models are also expected to be lighter and thinner than previous ones. This will be the first major design upgrade to the MacBook since 2012. Now, we expect the announcement in about the next 45 minutes. Of course, we have a crew there. KTVU will have the announcement for you online when it happens, and a full wrap, of course, coming up at noon.
All right, joining us this morning in studio is Ryan Eldridge, co-founder of Nerds on Call. Ryan, good morning. Thanks for coming in. We'll talk about Microsoft and Apple in just a bit, but news breaking this morning about Twitter I want to ask you and get your take on. Twitter posted another quarter of slowing revenue growth and said it would slash 9% of its global workforce. Is this company in trouble?
Well, you know, I don't know if it's in trouble. Okay. It still has 350 million active daily users. The interesting thing about Twitter is this is like their month of doom. Last year, when Jack Dorsey took over, he laid off 335 people. So it's not terribly unusual, and it's in their sales and their marketing department, which means that's really where they're struggling. They're just trying to find a way to make the company profitable. It hasn't been profitable, lost $100 million.
Dorsey's goal coming back was to accelerate revenue growth.
Yeah.
And just not seeing it.
Well, they've got some good stuff coming. I mean, with the streaming of the Thursday Night Football, they've got that going. I mean, they've got a lot of things. And Twitter calls itself a news organization, not necessarily just a social network. So they're clearly going in that direction.
And it's not likely to go away because someone would want all those, as you mentioned, all those followers. So,
and it is a powerhouse of influence. I mean, just think of the election alone. Disney looked at it. Salesforce.com was looking at it. I mean, they're desperately trying to get themselves sold, but they've got a troll problem, as we all know about, with the SNL actress that got trolled on there. They put in a block button so you could block users. But that is keeping a lot of the people. Disney, for example, isn't going to go for it because they have that troll problem. So they got to fix that first.
Let's talk about the Apple announcement that's expected. If it, in fact, is a revamp of the MacBook. Look, I have an iPhone. I have an iPad. Do I need a MacBook? Do I need a computer sitting on my... How many of these things do I need?
You've got a good point. See, overall desktop computer sales have been declining for the last 2 years straight, and it's expected to continue to decline in the next 2 years. So it's kind of weird that Microsoft suddenly jumped into the market this time.
Right.
So you've got to do something a little different, a little unusual. I'm also an Apple owner. I got everything that I'm surrounded with is Apple, and I've got an old MacBook that I'm just dying to get updated, but I don't know if this is going to be a big enough thing to take us away from what we're already using from the tablets to the phones.
What is behind Microsoft trying to get into this desktop business? You say the business is dying. So why are they trying to get into it?
You know, here's the thing about Microsoft is they aren't selling to the user of today, right? What they're doing is taking a big bet on 3D and virtual reality. So everything that they announced yesterday has something to do with 3D or virtual reality with their HoloLens and the VR headsets. And so what they're doing is trying to get the creators involved.
So you're talking about you're like architects, engineers, because the price point on that, what they were talking about yesterday, and I have to double check, but it's close to $3,000.
Yeah, and also artists. Yeah, it was $2,900 for that cool computer. But once they've got all the curators creating content for them on their networks and in their platforms, then the consumers will follow. That's what they're hoping for. Because Apple has dominated the creator market for so long with their integrations with Adobe and everything else. And so this is a really interesting spin the way Microsoft's doing it, and the PC is gorgeous.
What did you think about the Surface Dial?
Oh, I love it.
I liked it too.
Yeah,
I thought it was pretty interesting.
And the head of hardware is now saying that that is just the beginning. You're going to see a lot more hardware accessories that are going to go work with the Surface, and you can also use that same accessory on the Surface Pro as well. It just turns it into like a little miniature Surface.
Earlier I said, I think I mistakenly said it was going to be $300. It's $3,000. Yes. MacBook Pros are about $2,000, and with all the bells and whistles, they're $3,000. People willing to pay this kind of money?
Oh, yeah. And the Apple is also going to offer a 2 terabyte drive the first time, so it's going to be kind of a higher-end thing. And the display is still going to be the Retina display, but it'll likely get a little pixel upgrade, because obviously their iMac 2 years ago got the 5K. What would be really interesting is if they took a kind of a thing from Microsoft and created a touchscreen iMac. It's desperately needed in the Mac community for having that creation with their Apple Pencil. That would be awesome.
Ryan, what about the timing?
The timing is really cool.
Here we are today. Here we are talking to Microsoft.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm working for Microsoft,
they have diminished Microsoft's announcements by having their thing today, and they also diminished the business news that they have declining revenue.
Right.
So it's brilliant on how they.
But the product still has to be perfect in order for it to be successful. You can do as much timing as you want, but you have to deliver to the customer.
Yeah, I agree. But obviously, iPhone sales is sort of the charge for Apple, and of course now there's rumors of the new iPhone 8 that's coming out
next year for the 10 years,
and it looks gorgeous from what we're seeing. All the renderings we're seeing, it's just going to be an amazing, and it'll really beef up their sales. But yeah, the MacBook line just needs a refresh, and it's not going to be the thing that fuels their growth, but it will certainly keep investors a little happier.
All right. Ryan Eldridge, Nerds on Call. Ryan, thanks for coming in.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. Coming up next on Mornings on 2.